New Titans issue 33, Tate Brombal writing with SAMI BASRI on the art. So this is a rename, a new title just for Titans. So, you know, now the cover obviously promises this new team with John Superboy, or Superman, whatever we're calling him these days, Stephanie Brown, Yara Flor, seemingly Terra is going to be on there as well. Yep. And we do see the older team, you know, the traditional Titans in the background, but that's clearly... And this issue builds up to the new team at the very, very end, but it actually does something a little bit... Because I started this issue, right? And it does this thing where it's like, okay, we're starting the day in Titans Tower, Nightwing saying hello to everyone, and after a couple of lines of dialogue, the Fearsome Five come crashing through the window, and I thought, you know what? I'm so sick of comics. Like issue ones where... Like, within 2 pages, the villains just show up to create the conflict. It's just so lazy. Yep. And then, you know, the book continues for a page or two, and they win the fight, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're just doing like a thing where, oh, isn't it funny how like their old villains show up out of nowhere and they beat them, but that's not the plot of the issue, that's just preamble. But then we do almost like a Groundhog Day thing where we start the day again, there's coffee. The exact same window, but this time it's Terra saying, aha, Titans, I'm back. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They're doing a bit. This is going to be a joke. This is a running joke that the villains keep showing up at the exact same window. And would you believe it? It keeps going, and we keep getting more and more villains.
I love this sequence so much because like it doesn't wear out its welcome. It's not like, wait, what's happening? It makes it obvious when Terra shows up, and then literally the next panel is, okay, Terra, you can join the team again. Like it's all just playing on, hey, those stories you've heard about the Titans and that we keep coming back to over and over again, we get it. We know we keep doing this.
And notably, it gets quicker and quicker, you know, so the second time it's just like a couple of panels. And then the third time, you know, like, you know, Trigon shows up at the window, and we don't even like do a finish to that. It just cuts to the next time they're getting coffee. It just sort of starts, it gets more and more of like a montage the more it goes along. So you're not getting tired of it. You're just getting through the more obvious beats of it.
Yeah, it's something like it's not even showing like the same loop every time. It's showing highlights or whatever. One of my favorites is Aqualad. Garth shows up and they're like, hey, welcome to have you back on the team. And he's like, oh, you know that the ocean can't keep me away for, never mind, I need the ocean. Away!
But my favorite detail is though, in that next panel when he's leaving immediately, he's going out that same window that all the villains keep showing up from. So it's this thing where this window becomes this representation of the revolving door of villains and Garth coming and leaving. Deathstroke shows up for one of them.
And he has an even bigger gun.
You know, there's a moment where Cyborg's gold instead of silver. There's a moment where Nightwing's got the red outfit instead of the blue outfit. Yep.
It's just, there's one where Beast Boy's red instead of green. Like, it's tiny little things.
It's just going through the history of Titans and all the weird things they've went through. But there's like a voice coming from the coffee maker saying, hey, Nightwing, this isn't real. You need to wake up. Like, don't drink the coffee. Don't drink the coffee. So it's like, okay, God, I get what we're doing. They're trapped in some sort of weird, like, Black Mercy style Groundhog Day thing.
The best of the Titans on permanent repeat. But it also, like, yes, even if that's the internal story, it feels like it's also just this little playful, not like angry, but playful satire of the Titans comics.
There's a meta satire to it,
hey, guess what? Raven's going to turn evil again. We're just going to keep doing this.
I mean, they literally say that, oh, she's turned evil again. Cut to later. Yeah. Oh, this character's happened again. And then at one point it starts mixing them up by accident, and it's like, what do you mean brother Death Blood showed up? And it's like
brother Bloodstroke.
That's what it was.
It's like, wait, that's not a guy. What?
Yeah, you're mixing the villains up. And you know, it's like, okay, one day Starfire's kissing Dick, next day, oh, we've broke up again. Like, it's just going through all the things, and it's like, okay, I appreciate the gimmick of what it's doing here. It's got more of a purpose than it initially seemed to. So yeah, my initial like roll in my eyes was like, oh no, they're doing a thing. They know what they're doing here. There's an idea behind this. And then the big thing, obviously by the end, is this: once Dick starts to resist it and says, "No, I don't think this is real," they all start kind of glitching out as if something's wrong. And then through that same window, everyone else is crashed through. In comes the new team, and John's like, we're the new Titans and we're here to save you your asses.
Yep. I love when he comes to, because it speeds up each time. When he comes to the realization, though, there's a 9-panel grid of the coffee machine, and it feels so frantic up until that point where it's just faster and faster and faster through the loops, that when we get to this and the coffee machine beeps, and then you just get 9 panels of Nightwing beating the ever-loving crap out of it. It feels so like the perfect little sudden stop to the end of the scene to just add some normalcy.
And he even questions afterwards, what am I doing? Am I being crazy? I just beat up a coffee maker. And then obviously quite quickly after that we get to the ending. And
I love the Titans look around, they're like, Dick, what did you do? He's like, I broke the coffee machine. And then everyone starts like crisis mode, disappearing from reality.
So, what exactly is going on here? They're trapped in something. It seems to be like, is it just Dick and everyone else is fake? Is everyone trapped here at the same time? So on and so on. I'm unclear at this point. But so the only critique you could have of this really is that the new team they promised only shows up in the final page. But honestly, I think in the grand scheme of things, that's not that big a deal. Like, we'll get to them next issue. So
this is absolutely just a great setup for like whatever it is that's going on. It told the story in such a creative way and such a different way, while also being able to like kind of just point at this book, and maybe it doesn't deserve it. We have to see what happens, but they feel like they're pointing out and saying, this ain't your Granddaddy's Titans. Like, we're all those stories that we did before. We know that. We know we've done those stories. We're not going to do them again.
Yeah. I enjoy Taylor's run in Titans, and then obviously it just kind of felt generic once the second team took over. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that this is back onto a new team, and it feels like immediately they have some ideas and injecting some new life into things. And I really like the idea of Steph on the team, and also Yara, actually. And in fact, them together sounds like a bit of a winner as far as personalities going together is.
Yeah. The only other one that we had that wasn't on the cover is, I think he's called Red Devil.
Yes.
I think, did that come out of the Lazarus Planet stuff? Was that where he was from? I could be wrong entirely. This might be a thing off of Blue Devil as well. I literally do not know who this character is.
Hey, if this book does the smart thing, it will give us some fleshing out and backstory for some of these characters, especially him, because he's probably the one that fewest people know.
Yes, very true. I'm just pulling up comics that he appeared in just to see. Okay, he was back around during Absolute Power and stuff like that, and apparently in Superman. So yeah, I guess he's been around.
Okay. So no, it's interesting, and it does make me wonder, once they rescue the team, whether that takes like an issue or the whole arc or whatever. Like, do the teams merge after that point, or is it this kind of thing where they're like, okay, like the regular team kind of dispenses for the most part, but like Dick's still there to kind of like, call the shots or something like that, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like, just based off of the way that they bust in and say, we're the new Titans, it feels like this has been something that was already pre-established. Like, we're coming into this book and like Dick, maybe the team already dissipated. Maybe they've already broken up and Dick's the only one that's actually like real in that world. And that's why they're calling out to him. But yeah, it feels like this is something where this team has already pre-existed for a little bit and they're just moving into that. The only other thing I would point out is I think there's some carryover, because I briefly paged through the previous issue of Titans, like the DCKO final one. I think there's a little bit of carryover between the Kids Are All Fight issue and this team. I think that might have been something that was a mild introduction here, but I wouldn't know. I didn't read that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, I wonder actually if we go back next issue and actually start with like on the real world, at the new Titans, like having their like either forming or having their first mission together or something. Go back and sort of like then they'll line up with this once they know they have to go save the original Titans.
Yeah, I could see it happening.
Yeah. I had a good time though. Like, honestly, like I was hopeful because of Brombal's work on other books, and I wanted to be into a Titans book. I want Titans to be good. I want to like it. So yeah, I'm glad that I got something out of this, and it felt like it's not just shoving away the old characters. I mean, maybe there'll be less of them after this first arc if we get past this, saving them from this whatever it is. But I like that it does feel like it's acknowledging the history and keeping them as like on as sort of legacy characters, whilst hey, we've got this new team that are going to be the focus and we're going to do this with them and so on. So yeah, we'll see how that shakes up.
This is like whenever they were doing the Titans relaunch back in Rebirth, I was up for it, but it felt so mired in old continuity that it was hard for me to get into. And then when we did this most recent one, I think that was Dawn of DC, it same sort of thing. It felt like, okay, we got the old team back and like everyone knows the old team. And I'm like, not really. I don't feel like I'm as familiar with them as I should be. This is the first time that I feel like jumping into this, it feels like we are going to do a fresh start, something that people can really jump in on without just completely throwing away all the old continuity with it.
I do wonder what the ratio is. Like, I wonder how much of these old characters are going to still be in the book and mix in with the new ones once this arc's over.
I would imagine you got to keep Grayson. And then, does anybody else have a book? Like, is anyone else going to be around anywhere else?
Not really.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. Maybe they'll still be there as mentors or when we need the larger cavalry to come in, but we'll just focus on the new team more so.
Yeah. The only other thing to bring up is on the cover, at least, they have Tara that seems to be in the same like color grading as the people up front rather than blending into the back as the old Titans. Either
that's a mistake on the cover because she's in the book, but they've made it look like she's on the team, or she is just going to be on the team, and that's interesting if she is.
Yeah. I'm up for it. I'm always good for a good Tara story, as long as we don't eventually go back to the exact same story she's done over and over again.
She's working with Deathstroke? She's a villain?
No, but she was so trustworthy. She kissed Beast Boy.
Yeah, he's got Raven now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's got the Goth GF. He doesn't need her.
All right, what are you giving New Titans?
I mean, I can't speak for the series overall, but this issue really, I was enjoying beginning to end. Mm-hmm. I was happy to be turning the page each time. So I got to give this one like an 8.5. I think this one was just like really, really great. I don't have many bad things to say about it at all.
I'm going with just a straight 8 for me. I liked it. I think I liked realizing what it was as I was reading it. And then obviously I'm excited to see what the new team's like once we actually get to that next time. And the art by Basri, very solid, very clean cut. It's, I feel bad because I feel like Basri, compared to Lucas Meyer on Superman Unlimited, I feel like Basri and Meyer have very kind of similar overall looks to their art, but I like Meyer a bit more. So having them in the same week makes Basri feel like the lesser version, but by no means bad. Very, very, very solid throughout. Yeah. And I really like that motif of coming back to that exact same panel of the window, but with just different villains crashing out of it. Or in one case, Garth crashing out.
Yeah, just bailing, whatever.
And it's in a very funny kind of like, Pucci is needed on his home planet kind of moment. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. But just need to see a bit more of the where the plot's actually going next time to really know for sure that I'm definitely into read the next issue, but we'll see how I feel about going forward after that once we get to that point. So technically not an issue 1, but in some ways it is an issue 1.
It's issue 1 of New Titans, however you want to call it.
Even though they're keeping the numbering for whatever reason. You feel like they would jump on the chance to just call it New Titans issue 1, but for whatever reason they chose not to do that. So
maybe it was like a hedging their bets sort of thing where they're like, just in case this doesn't work out, we don't want to release this as a 6-issue mini. We're just gonna keep the numbering going and we can cancel it a nice round 37.